Welcome back. Hey, how are y'all doing today? Has anybody seen a little bit of God? Good stuff, right? Right? Um, well, did you know that the United States College of Catholic Bishops, I had to think of that, because this is, they are going to consecrate the United States on the Thursday the 11th. I believe they're having some type of gathering in Georgia, somewhere like that. Okay. Anyhow, so like I said, something's coming, and so 250 years is, hey, that's something to recognize. Why wasn't it consecrated as soon as the College of Bishops was formed in the United States, is my question. Do we go and live in a country and we don't give blessings over that country? I think they should have done this a long time ago, because the infiltration has happened so much already, and it's kind of like this is a last ditch effort to try to convince God that the United States is a good country. Did you know? Did you know 250 years was, let's just call it an experiment, okay? And like I said, there's always good and there's always evil on every situation, so I'm just going to make this story up, right? So I'm a person that has a foot in the old, and like I keep telling y'all. And what I saw, anybody ever remember the TV show Little House on the Prairie? Now, that was a godly country. You see what I'm getting at? You watch the movies, and they always have a scene where the people are leaving the church, or the minister is giving a sermon of some sort, right? And all the people are there, of the city, of the town, the little area, and they are all engulfed in what is being said. And then what do? They're going to go home, and they're going to live in that little box out in the middle of nowhere, where they got their goats and their sheeps and their chickens and whatever else they are trying to raise, corn, food, where they lived off the land. That was the time when God was really present. And I found a place that makes that really even more beautiful, because I found it in today's world. No, they're not living in little boxes out in the middle of nowhere. It's a little town. There are towns all over this United States, towns everywhere. And what I'm saying is, when I go to that church and I sit through the Mass, I feel God is there inside the church. So I'm not even looking at the town. The people come in, young and old, and everybody. The church bell rings. It's like, wow, this is God. This is God talking here. Now, well, Mark, you found one church. So God called me, like I said, about 11 years ago. And I started at a church that was a rich church. It was Catholic, but the neighborhood that this church is in is a rich neighborhood. So their offerings are larger. There is no want at this place for the dollar bill, we'll call it, okay? And I joined the church. I became a Knights of Columbus. I taught in their school. I'm a catechist. I teach catechist, getting ready for confirmation. Okay. I was a part of that community. My dad's health started to wane until he passed, but I actually had to say, I'm sorry, I need to go to my dad's church to be with my dad, my father, right? Well, that's understandable. And so I went to my dad's church, where my dad was going to church forever. And it's a poor church. I became a knight. I don't really want to give too much information about that church. I found them to be very greedy and wasteful. And I'm not talking about the church, okay? I'm talking about the feeling. The rich church, they want it for nothing. They had everything they wanted. Hey, you need a bottle of water? Here's your water. It's that quick. Which is fine. And the poor church is fine. It's been operating forever at that type of thinking. And I thought, wow, it's interesting that you can see a difference in churches that are all Catholic. Okay. Now, I personally thought everybody walked around like this, praying. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, why am I telling you this? Okay. So, I was born in 1960. I was baptized in April 10th in 1960. What is it? February, March, April. Less than 3 months. 2 months and 10 days. Anyhow, well, when I turned 15 years old, I said, nah, Dad, I don't really like going to church anymore. They started having a band up there with drums, and it's like, whoa, dude, that's not God. And so I didn't follow. I lost God. From 15 to 55. That was 40 years later. That's when God called me. One of the biggest questions that I always ask myself or anybody else, why did the Israelites wander in the desert for 40 years? Ask your own self, Mark. Why were you lost? I've been baptized, and I've had my first communion before 15. I still needed one more sacrament, right? Sacrament of confirmation. I got that as soon as God said, hey, you, wake up, come back to me. And oh my goodness, these last 11 years have been so beautiful. I'll tell you more. Bye later.